Hey there, I'm Johnny Beck and welcome to this channel where I share helpful and practical tips for fathers in their 30s. On the last video, I spoke about 10 things I wish I knew before becoming a father. In this video, I will continue touching on this topic and talk about 10 more things I wish I knew before I became a father. First off, let's talk about sex. Very important topic to cover. That's why it's number one on this part 2 of this video. I didn't realize how much sex life will change after having a baby. If before becoming a dad, it's easier, right? You don't plan, you don't schedule, you don't stress about certain things, and you and your partner would just go for it, right? But now after having a baby, things will change. Again, it's not a permanent change. Things will get better over time, but the reasons why your sex life might be affected is due to stress, recovery, not having enough sleep, maybe mood changes with you and your partner. There might be this little conflicts and irritation, right? So it's important to always communicate with your partner in this period. It's always important to be sensitive in this period and just always be in communication with your partner. Again, it's not a permanent change. Things will get better over time. At this point, your partner is recovering after giving birth, and you just have to be sensitive and supportive. If you really have a physical need and you really have to do it, then I think there are ways which I'm not gonna talk about, but you know what to do. Next is breast milk versus milk formula, bottle feeding. It's another big topic that I should touch on. I wish I knew earlier that both options are great. These days, many parents are, they have this dilemma of what to pick, what's best for the child. People say ideally breast milk is the best. It's the most natural. It has the most nutrients, which is true. I think scientifically it's been proven. But at the same time, there's this bottle feeding, which is also equally great. It has all the nutrients. It has all the vitamins that the baby needs. I wish I knew it earlier because my wife and I had this conversation so many times, and my wife was able to breastfeed both of my kids initially, but then later on we switched to bottle feeding, and it was fine. If you are feeding your baby with a bottle, it's fine. If your partner is able to breastfeed, it's great. Both options are equally good. At this point, instead of stressing on this, what to feed the baby, I think you should focus on your partner. Do not pressure your partner. We're saying, why can't you breastfeed? I think at this point you have to support your partner, listen to your partner, and just be a team, right? Again, your role as a father, your role as a husband is to support your wife and be there for her. They say breast is best, which is true, but I think the fat is best, right? The fat baby is best, regardless if it's bottle or breast milk. Because what's important is happy and healthy baby and happy and healthy family. Number 3, keeping romance alive. I wish I knew this again earlier. When my firstborn was born, both my wife and I focused so much on the baby and we forgot about each other. We had our conversations, we had our little sweet moments, but I wish that we spent more time with each other. Again, at this point, we're just tired, sleepy, sometimes frustrated, stressed. But my suggestion to you, if you want to keep the romance with you and your partner alive, put a bit more effort into that, right? Some random acts of sweetness is a proper way to say it. Maybe leaving a little note before you go to work, or sweet encouraging messages, or maybe planning a date night at home when the baby sleeps. You can watch a little movie together. I know that you're probably sleepy, and I always chose to sleep, which I think I shouldn't have. I should have just focused a bit more on my partner. Our marriage is great. Our marriage is very strong, thankfully. But yeah, I wish I could just spend a bit more time and in putting a bit more effort in the romance of our marriage. Number 4, you were never fully prepared. Another thing I wish I knew earlier, but what people say is very, very true. You think you're ready physically, you think you're ready emotionally, you think you're ready financially, but fatherhood will surprise you in the ways you can't predict. The goal is to go with a mindset of being ready to adapt and being ready for unpredictability. And same goes for fathers who have 2 or more kids. And if you have a few kids, you probably know this already. But here you are having 1 child, and after having a first child, you think you're ready for a second one. And here comes the second one, who is completely different from your firstborn. And then I have only 2 kids, but I'm sure if you have more than 2 kids, you can attest to that your third child is completely different from your first 2. So the goal is to go with the mindset of being ready to adapt for unpredictability, and always know that you're never fully prepared for a baby. The next thing is dealing with baby blues. And yes, mood swings and feeling overwhelmed doesn't only affect the moms, it also affects dads. And I think at this point, it is important to communicate with a partner on expectations, right? And if you need to seek professional help, it is also very, very normal, and it's very important. As much as you want to help your wife and be there for her, do not forget about taking care of yourself too. Reach out to a friend, reach out to maybe a group of fathers, and just be there for each other. Not only with you and your partner, but also with other people who are willing to listen to you and support you. Sometimes knowing that you're not alone, and just having these little conversations are really, really good for the fathers. Next thing is balancing work and family life. Balancing work and family life is very, very, very challenging. It's easy to say, just set clear boundaries, and at home, forget about work, just focus on your family. Ideally, this is the ideal case scenario. At home, you're fully father, and at work, you're just working, right? It's just black and white. But in reality, it doesn't work that way. It's much harder to balance work and life. What I would suggest, also from my experience, if you can, I know not all the fathers can do it, but when you come home, try to just focus on your family, put away all the work stuff, and just focus on your family. I know sometimes we receive night emails, urgent calls. I think it's important to communicate with your partner that you have to do it. Again, ideally, you put away all the work stuff and you just focus on your family. And the same goes when you're in the office or you're at work, you receive a call from your partner. Certain urgent calls, not so urgent calls, sometimes she just want to talk to you. It's important to let her know that you will call her back after some time, right? Or maybe during your lunch break, you will call her back so that you're at peace. She doesn't feel neglected. It doesn't affect your work. Again, it's very hard, it's very challenging to find balance between work and family, but it is doable. And I know you can do it. Next thing is the big one, family and friends dynamics. At this point, so you have a baby and your friends, your family members, everyone will have an advice. And it can be very, very overwhelming, right? When it comes to what to feed the baby, how to feed the baby, what kind of clothes, what kind of diapers. If you come from a family that speaks multiple languages, what kind of language you focus on, this and that. You have friends who will tell you this is wrong. The other friends will say, no, this is right. And just, it can get very overwhelming. But I'm going to tell you, you and your partner know best what's best for your family and for your baby, right? Listen politely, right? But remember that you and your partner already know what's best for your family, what works for your family. Set those boundaries. Again, listen politely, be respectful, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need to. Next thing is financial planning. If you're not yet a father, you're thinking of being a father, please budget in advance, prepare financially in advance, because babies, they come with a lot of unexpected expenses. Get an estimate of how much certain milk formula brand cost if you gonna bottle feed the baby. Get an estimate of how much you will spend for diapers, especially in early stages that you will have to change them very often. Baby clothes, get an estimate of how much you will spend for a doctor. That will give you a peace of mind, and you can actually prepare financially. I wish that my wife and I have done it earlier. We were not really financially prepared when my firstborn was born. And so if you're like me and you're already a father, but you didn't prepare financially, it's okay, right? It's normal. But the goal is just to adjust on the go, right? So you have to say no to a lot of things that maybe you used to doing before. You have to cut down a lot of spendings, and at this point, of course, prioritize the baby's needs. It's not a permanent change. Eventually, when the baby grows bigger, of course, expenses will just go higher, but then you will learn, hopefully, on how to budget. But yeah, so financial planning is very, very, very important. Next one is dealing with parental guilt. It's tough, right? Feeling guilty that you're not spending enough time with your baby. For fathers, right? Maybe from a company we're giving a paternal leave, and then you have this short time to spend with your newborn. You have to go back to work. For mothers, again, if you're maternal leave, you have to after a short period go back to work. Put your newborn in daycare. Maybe hire a nanny if you can afford. Maybe one of your parents, the grandparents, can come and will come and be with your baby, and you might be just feeling guilty and thinking, I can't spend, or I'm not spending enough time with my own child than other people are, right? I want to assure you this is very normal. My wife and I went through that as well. Both her and I had to work. It's life, right? You have to work, and just seeing my son crying and leaving him in the daycare when he was 2, it was tough for me. It brought me to tears multiple times. Thankfully, those days are over, but it's a reality of having a newborn when you have to go back to work. So do not be hard on yourself. What's important is, again, listen to your partner, have this conversation with your partner, be supportive, be a team, and remember that, again, I keep on saying it, but I think it's important to remind that these things are just temporary, and eventually things will get better. Lastly, building a support network is very, very, very important. You and your partner might think, we got it, we can do it, right? But having friends and family, a parent group with a newborn, so maybe for dads, community of dads was newborn, is very important. Because there you will hear different stories and different challenges that these families are going through. You will get to share your challenges and struggle. You get to hear how they overcame those challenges and struggles, and you'll learn from each other. And knowing that you are not the only one that's going through these things, or maybe you'll be able to help someone in that group, it's great. It's awesome. We have friends like that, and every time we see them, it's so amazing, right? Now our kids are playing together. But yeah, so invest in this kind of friendships, and join this kind of groups, because it will help you in your parenting, and you will know that you're not only one who's going through the struggles. If you found this content helpful, please consider subscribing. If you haven't watched my other video where I talk about the other 10 things I wish I knew before becoming a father, if you have time, please watch it. I would really appreciate it, and I hope that the things that I'm sharing from my experience would really help you in your father journey. Please share this video with fellow dads who might be going through similar challenges, and let's continue encouraging each other in this incredible father journey.